Okay, how honest can you be here? What do you feel about not having become million and billion sellers, and yet you can still, say you are who you are? Do you feel generally 100% good about that, or do you have mixed
No,
feelings?
no, I don't feel 100% good about it. I would have liked to not have financial problems or struggling or, living in, Buckhead somewhere and owning a couple of high rises and stuff, things that money affords you. But my life is good. I don't miss meals. I raised my son. He's a beautiful man. He has three beautiful kids. His wife is amazing. My life is full, it's good, and I can look in the mirror and I can thank God and know that he's all right with me and I'm all right with him. Sometimes that's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Because the small print at the end of the contract doesn't say everybody gets that. And everybody that I know in this business who got there, it was a struggle and the end was tormented.
And,
It was tormented. It was a struggle and it didn't end well. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So my life is, at my age now, I can say I've lived most of my life now, and most of it has been amazing. And I'm good with that. Not
Well-
100%, don't get me wrong, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'd
and-
love to have two more cars, especially that Mercedes Jeep. I would love to have that.
Okay, my turn. I'm gonna,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. Because it goes beyond talking about being satisfied, or if you don't have it, and up till now, you're not supposed to have it.
Right.
And if you did get it, what would it have done to you
Right.
as a person? And how would you feel about it? I could probably name more people than you that are successful and have lots of money that are totally miserable.
Right.
Or dead, or so strung out that they don't know their ass from the holy ground right now.
There you go.
Okay, but and then I can use that, as even an excuse, but that's not what it is. My life and her life has been spiritual in ways that we understand that we could, because believe me, we had forks in the road. I mean, we had different
Several.
paths that we could have gone down,
Yeah.
And we could have made lots of money. We could have,
You got
the
the
story.
brain, I got the moves. That's all.
Let's make lots of
Let's make lots
Um,
of money.
But we do realize that this is where we are right now is where we have to be,
We were always gonna be here.
otherwise we won't be found,
Right. We were always gonna be
and-
right here where we
yes,
are right now.
and we are,
That's
and,
what we're doing.
and that's more important to us, to be found spiritually,
Yeah.
is what I'm talking. We have to be where he wants us to be,
Are you trying to
otherwise,
say we have to be where God can find us?
yeah, pretty much.
Ah,
Yeah. I'll just beat around the bush a little bit,
Look
That's
at that look on his
wonderful.
face. He go,
yeah, I've never heard that expressed before. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is that's sort of it's a whole
That's
nother
essence,
story.
full essence. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and we're really glad about that. We really are. I mean, yeah, we could have done this, we did this, we could have owned all this, we could have had. Just suppose, we go through that all along, but we know that there's a price to pay. And pretty big too. And sometimes we're at the age now that we know that, there's no good way to experience that at this point. If we were the same age and we had all these successes and we were miserable, I'd like where we are
I
now.
understand what you're saying.
You got it?
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you very much.
And I agree, by the way. It's all
And-
good.
And so as a fan, now, I'm a recent fan. Okay. I did not know much about you until I started researching you. And so over the last month, I've had a chance to listen to all your work, and I've listened
Thank
to a
you.
lot of artists' catalogs, like gone
Yeah.
all the way through all the Chicago albums, for instance, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to say that I have to thank you because of the path you took. Every album is just wonderful to listen to. There's
Wow.
you don't have any you know, any kind of albums you're like, well, I wish they hadn't recorded that one, you know, like, where had they gone? It's just every time I'm listening, it's like, oh, here's another fantastic record from Mother's Finest. And that brings us to
Wow.
Goody Two Shoes and the Filthy Beast,
Oh, thank you.
2015.
Yes, thank you.
You
One of
know,
my favorites.
again, here we go. It's 2015 and you're bringing all your weaponry to this brand new, you know, you got all this experience that you bring to the album, the same old fantastic guitar playing, same old vocals and harmonies, and yet you got all the other stuff too, all the new rhythms and stuff. And here you are, you know, you're taking a very youthful approach to this music, you know, and yet you are not youthful anymore. You know, you've
Yeah.
aged. So
Yeah.
talk about making an
Thank
album
goodness.
with that kind of energy and that
Yeah.
kind of youthfulness, and yet having to you know, deal with your limitations as human beings getting
Right.
older.
Yes, right.
Mm.
Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate all the nice, wonderful things you said about our music and our band and our folks. We appreciate that so much, even now today. And I did hear that your wife was a fan.
Yes,
that
my
true?
wife, she heard you back in the day. She heard you back in the early 80s or late 70s. I'm not sure which.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
just a few years older than me, so I was
Yeah.
too young to catch you. I was born in
Okay.
1969, so by the time I was old enough to hear you, I wouldn't have been able to find you really.
Yeah, that's true.
But she caught you in your heyday. She did. She really did.
Yeah,
around
that was our apex
2017.
for sure.
And so she, you know, she was thrilled when I said I was talking to you. She's like,
Wonderful.
wow, I love Mother's
I
Finest.
know. Whoa, thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well,
Very
you know, I've learned to push the buttons because I've been allowed in this band to push the buttons. And it's like songs like My Bad and what was the other song I love? All those songs. My Bad was a mixture of jazz vocals and heavy metal guitar.
Mhm.
The two
Who
together.
does that?
Yeah, who does that? I thought
Still
that
nobody. Still nobody.
Yeah. and even Shut Up is even more of a close. Well, I'm speaking of Shut Up. I'm sorry. Shut Up is a mixture of a jazz vocal with a heavy rock guitar bass.
Mhm.
Now, My Bad is that Kashmir? My Bad is this is Kashmir. Say hi.
Hello, Kashmir.
Hi, Pum Pum.
We'll do an interview with you later.
Yeah, My Bad is church metal.
Mhm.
If you when you listen to it, and we knew that was dangerous, and we didn't really expect a lot out of that one, because I think my band was kind of mad with me with that one. But I said I want to do this. This is the shit right here. This is going to wake people up. People that weren't woke to us before, it might wake them up to it if we can get it out there fast enough.
Right.
And yeah, that was a fun album. The only backdraw we fought, Doc and I both fought, was that we funded that record.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want to fund it. But they said that's the new thing to do, especially Dion. He's the youngest in the band. He said, well, that's what everybody's doing, Mom. I said, well, I don't really want to do that. And I don't, because it's going to leave it to most of the band, which is old school, and we're not used to have our hands on with stuff on the outside of actually playing the music. And I thought we would lose out if we did that. But everybody wanted to go that way. So we didn't go, we just went as far as the record company was concerned. We did sign with them, and the rest was on us, you know. So we kind of lost the record because of it. And but the record itself, because it wasn't a record that we created in a room together, which is what the band is used to doing, bring everybody's energy in to tweak it and put everybody's little vibe in there. We didn't do that. It was tracks. Some of us played on top of the track and some of us didn't play on the track. And I thought that's where some of MF was lost.
Mhm.
So a little bit of that is lost, even though it's a great record. It sounds great if you're not used to our sound from the 70s, because it's a long way from that sound.
Yeah, sure.
But I thought it stood on its own as far as what people are listening to, but it is quite different because pop is so powerful now in the music industry. Everything is pop and track, and you know, self-contained bands are a little bit tough right now if you're not just starting out.
Right.
You know.
It's very difficult to make records the way they used to be made. And
Yeah.
it's to your credit that even though you had to make this record in a 21st century way, it doesn't really sound that way. It still has your energy and your innovation
Thank you.
in it.
Thank you. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Yeah, we still have hopes for it. As
Yeah.
soon as this COVID thing is over, we're going to go back to it.
Right. So you've had a rest now. I was talking to Glenn earlier, and he said you all had to really take some time off, as a lot of us have during this COVID
Yeah.
period. So what
Sure.
what was that like, and what's next for you? Are you going to
Oh my
continue?
God, it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. Well, to be honest, I had some health issues
Mhm.
that thank God the way it worked out. I had all that time to try to recover. The 15 months that we've been down. I mean, I had to leave the Rock Classic show 5 dates in. I think I was booked for about 12 dates, 14 dates.
Mm.
I only did 5 and we had to come home. The president said to come home and we came home and we got home just at the top of the quarantine. So we had to figure out how we were going to move through the rest of the year without being able to work.
We're totally freaked out.
We
is
totally
what
freaked out.
You know,
I had a nervous
I
breakdown.
mean, we went into hiding. I just, it was, I watched all those movies, and, we're all supposed to be dead now. There's only supposed to be like a handful of us
left.
walking the earth,
Right.
with parked cars all over the street. I don't know what happened, but it was actually pretty miraculous. But in the interim, I was just done. I just knew if this was going to happen. I mean, I really knew that everybody was going to die.
That's how
So,
you feel.
I prayed to the Lord that if I do have to go,
Well, I was just the opposite. I just felt like America was going to come through because, I'm such a
no, I
patriot.
didn't
I'm a
have.
patriot. And I just knew given time that she was going to figure it out. I just had that kind of
Which they did, which
they
was
did.
now at the end of the day, it's been, you can complain about all of the bad stuff that happened, but so much good stuff
Yeah.
really, really, really
faith on
happened.
the other side.
Racism, storming the Capitol, and the virus killing all these people. God bless their souls. All this stuff is supposed to happen, and it's going to make us so much better. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's not. It really isn't. Storming the Capitol could have been the worst thing. This COVID could have been the worst thing. Systemic racism could have never been discovered, which is a wonderful thing. And I have a thing that I tell Joyce all the time. We have to raise our conscious level in order for us to understand how good we have to become in order to
Get better.
continue. Really, we won't be able to continue if we just keep running around like a little thing in the wheel. We're going to run out. Planet's going to die. We're all going to die, and once we're all gone, the planet will revive itself, and more human beings come from somewhere, I don't know,
And screw it up again.
and screw it up again. But I did, me myself, I was bound and determined. I wasn't gonna.
But we had never lived through anything like that before.
I
That
wasn't
was the
gonna talk
furthest
to
thing from my
anybody.
mind.
I wasn't gonna, especially when you couldn't, don't touch anybody, don't go near anybody,
It was
don't
weird.
breathe.
It
Don't.
was weird.
I mean, it was like really,
Yeah.
it was the scariest
It was a stress
I've
levels
ever been in
were-
my life.
in the entertainment industry with us, we live a stressful life. It's like on the road, you sleep 3 or 4 hours, you have to get up, you sound check, you have to check it out, you got to get dressed. You don't have much time, you got to get dressed. Show starts at 8 o'clock. We're sold out, you're standing on the stage ready to go out in front of 1,000 people to be judged on who you are and what your music is saying, so our stress levels are always very high.
No sweat.
But this, getting on a plane, not knowing if you're going to make it to where you're going to go. This was our life for 50 years. So, and I think maybe we missed maybe 2 gigs. So we've been working. We've always worked. And our life came to a halt. What do you do with yourself? You didn't ask to retire, but you've been made to stay away from your community, from the people you love, and the things that you do, your fans, your crazy lifestyle. You know what I mean? You had to reassess yourself. And it got to be a stress level that I wasn't familiar with. So it almost took me out because I had to find a way to heal and not just lose my freaking mind, which a lot of people did. And you got to be mental issues, because that, not being able to touch someone or, those things are important. You take for granted. But as soon as it's gone, then you got to say, damn, my neighbor next door. I mean, it was crazy. But
So
we
we
got
had to-
through it, and I always knew. And every night I went to bed wondering if I was going to wake up with the COVID. I didn't know where my life was going to go. And I wanted to see my grandchildren grow up. I wanted, a lot of stuff. I was looking at my life, how I wanted it to go from here on. Another 20 years, if I live another 20 years, I'll consider that lucky because I'm at that age now.
Most important thing is we find out a lot about each other.
Yeah, we've been stuck
we
in the house
found out-
with each other.
Yeah, and we found out that we could, I mean, if you had us sit, will we be able to do that at the beginning of it? It would have been a lot of questions, and now we're
Yeah, I
at
thought you
the
was
end
gonna
of it.
torture me.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna torture me.
She always.
I always say that.
Right.
Yeah, but I
But-
like it. But we found out that we like each other. Now, of course, we're in love with each other, and we love each other. We work together, all this band from the bottom up. But we actually like each other as a person. We can accept each other's flaws and not let it ruin the love.
So we knew about each other's mental love, the physical love, and now we know a lot about our spiritual love.
Yeah,
For-
spiritual love. It's
For
what
not
brought us
only
together.
ourselves, but for everybody. That's
Yeah.
why I say a lot of the stuff that's happening is really, it's supposed to.
Yeah, we understood
Yeah.
it from a spiritual point of view, which not everybody knows.
That's, you had to go.
Or not everybody accepts, but we're putting ourselves out there like that. There was a time in rock and roll you didn't talk about your religion or your spiritual beliefs and none of that because it wasn't cool.
Right.
But hey, that's who we are. That's who we are as people. You know what I mean?
Well,
When we
music-
walk outside our front door,
Will music
sorry?
come out of, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Will music come out of this experience, do you
No.
think?
Oh,
in some way or
yeah.
another, we don't know. We got to get together. We haven't seen each other in a year. Doc and I is the only one been together.
Well,
Yeah.
We just now got to see Dion now because, we got it vaccinated. We're all fully vaccinated. But John, our new guitar player, lives in the Netherlands. He's in Holland.
oh,
We don't
poor
know
guy.
when he's going to come back into the United States, but he's been vaccinated. So we're waiting for that because our next 2 dates come up the end of August.
Right. I'll be
So
at
we
one of
have to
them.
deal with that conversation. Thank you. And then our other guy is in California. So we got to get together. We're going to take 2 weeks before all this starts and see how we are now. But see who we've become in the last 15 months.
The good thing about it is it's all about music is now new to us. We're going to play it for the first time again.
I liked when you said that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I haven't
Yeah,
heard
it
that
would
one in
be
a
low.
long
I don't
time.
even know what I
It's
do
almost
there.
been 2
I don't
years,
even know what I do there.
but we don't really know what's
I
happening.
forgot the blues thing and give y'all love the other day. I forgot. So where did that come from?
Oh,
You know what would make a man go crazy?
oh yeah,
No.
that's the wrong song.
That's the wrong song. See, I'm telling you, I was
I
lost.
know. Sorry.
Do you see yourselves writing more music?
I'm
If I hear the
definitely-
part, if I hear the joint, I can write something. I've got God is watching you, and I've got God is watching you.
That's a very good
Come
song.
get me, Lord. Even though it sounds gospel, it's actually like kind of an AC/DC riff. I've got
Okay.
those two waiting to finish. I just got to get together. So yeah, we're still writing.
See, and what about the song that's kind of heavy too? It's almost Hendrixy.
Come get when sober.
yeah.
What's the use of getting stoned? I gotta find my way back to you. Cause you're always
in my head.
in my head. That's never always in
that's
my head.
another one, and that's pretty heavy too. So yes, we actually have we have been hello. We have been writing so much music. So much music even before, and she does have an EP too that I'm good that it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like,
I gotta go get my t-shirt. Wait a minute. He needs to see my t-shirt.
Why don't
So
you
when he
just
comes
turn-
to the gig, he needs to buy it.
Jesus. Why don't you? Hello.
No, that's okay. Well, I
Uh,
want to see it.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you show him the picture instead? This artist, this Dutch artist,
Uh-huh.
did a picture of her, and it's sort of
Oh,
weird.
He'll pick it up in there.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
So that's a T-shirt.
Oh wow.
It looks crazy. Can you make it out? It's a face.
Yes.
It's in a museum in Holland, this artist in his collection. And so when I saw it, I said, ooh, that would make a great t-shirt. And he allowed me to do it. Of course, I asked permission.
Yeah.
You like it?
It's
Thank you.
beautiful. I'm trying not to talk
Thank
too
you.
much because when I talk, the camera comes to me and then we can't see it.
Oh, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful. I have to
Cool.
check that out. So yeah, we're gonna there's gonna be some more music, and she had a little like this EP, which we did just for the rock classic show that we didn't get a chance to sell them.
Well, we
All of them
did sell
anyway.
a lot. but
Yeah, we did. But
we did good for a while.
We were gonna make a small gold mine, but it didn't work out. Just
Well, it
because
took me
was,
some time to steal the show. That's the thing.
yeah,
It took me a
it
minute.
was a good show. It was so good. 10,000 people a night. I mean, guaranteed for 14 shows.
Mm.
And her part of the show was these flames, new stuff, four flamethrowers.
And I told Doc, I said, see how things work? I said, if we hadn't had to come home with the quarantine, I said, one night I would have went up there because I always forgot those flames. And I would walk on with my little self and those flames would, and I would always be surprised. I said, one night those things, she would have caught on fire, man.
Mhm.
But what was so cool
Up in
about this orchestra is that the core, the bass player and the guitar player were from a German heavy metal band. And they had violins, a violin section, horn section,
Yeah.
and
Piano.
this two keyboard players,
Upright.
background singers, 40 pieces.
Yeah, it was an
It
orchestra.
was amazing. I thought they
Yeah.
could have done so much more with it because they were more into the strings and not the brass. They should have been really in.
Yeah, but the band took care of all of the roughness, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
cool.
was in tears every night doing Baby Love with 40 piece orchestra. I was in
Yeah.
tears every night. I couldn't get through it because I changed it. I have a very slow interlude before the funk part picks up like the record, And I
Yeah.
thought it would be interesting because they wanted me to do 3 songs, but they didn't want to pay me for 3, so I did 2. And so I gave them an interlude to make them happy. So I created that with the piano player who was a female. She was very good. And so we would just take it took 2 or 3 minutes to do that interlude, which was like another song. It made them happy.
Maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah. And so I did that, and boy, it was beautiful. And every night I was in tears. I'm lucky that I got through it half the time.
It would have been good. Didn't get a chance to finish it, but that was cool. Though.
Yeah, it was cool.
But it was wonderful. Maybe she'll get a chance to do it again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That
That's
would be
cool.
good.
Joyce Kennedy and Glenn Murdoch, thank you for your time today. Thank you for your work for the last 50 years. It is just wonderful. And if I can do anything at all, even the tiniest bit, to tell more people about what you have done and how good it is, I'm happy to do it.
Thank
Just let
you
it rock,
so much.
man.
Just let
That's
it happen.
whatever. If it happens, it does. And we're not in control anymore.
Never was. We love you, Madeline. It was great to meet you.
Yeah.
God
So
bless.
let me say my goodbyes to the audience. And then after that, we will chat just a little bit. Okay.
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 We love
So-
to.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time as well. It's our pleasure to present Mother's Finest to you. Please check out our other interviews. As we mentioned, we talked to Tom Werman, who not only produced Mother's Finest, he produced Cheap Trick and Poison and Motley Crue and a number of other artists. It's a great interview as well. And we hope to continue to provide these interviews to you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like our videos. And if you have questions, you can find me at adam@willowschoolga.com. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.